Hey guys, Eric here at SideQuest Comics, and I just got back from a big convention, the Heroes Convention, down in Charlotte, North Carolina. This was my first time going to that, basically a pure comic convention. And today I want to attempt to show off some of my coverage of the convention. Now, to say that it's a little overwhelming is a little bit. I actually came home with uh, one extra box of stuff, and I have tons of coverage and stuff that I want to show you guys, from anywhere from my signatures, stuff that I got a-okay to me by buddies, and then of course my pickups. I did a lot of discount diving and finding some big books, and it's a bit much, so I didn't know where to start. I kind of basically sat and took about a week to kind of let it absorb, decompress type of thing, and decide exactly what I wanted to cover. And I came up with the idea and talked with some of my buddies to basically, let's keep it simple, right guys? So I have a lot of footage, so I'm going to show you guys little bits, but I am going to cover today my top 5 pickups at Heroes Con. Now, like I said, I do have a lot of other coverage. I may even just string up a bunch of my footage from the con floor, signatures, hanging out with buddies, all that kind of thing, and just make it a one big video. But this video, I want to cover what my pickups were. Now, to sum up, let's sum up a little bit of the convention. It was a great weekend. What I liked about it was that it turned into more than just about the comics. There was a lot of friends and stuff going, and other people in the YouTube comic community that you build these relationships up with each other online. So you kind of get to know each other online. And yes, it's a little bit nervous to meet in person for the first time, but it just kind of enforces the idea of those friendships where you finally do get to meet in person, and it's like you pick up like there's no extra time. And like I said, I did want to show a little bit of tidbits here while I'm talking and stuff like that. I mean, whether it was from hanging out with friends to, I did see a lot of content creators there, and just even taking a trip with my wife, which was a lot of fun. And I got the joy of meeting a lot of the creators over the weekend, which was very cool. And I do want to cover those in another video, but let's go ahead and start, because I'm starting to ramble on a little bit about just the experience, which was a great experience. I mean, I had a list of stuff that I wanted to do, and I found a lot of them. I found a lot of shenanigan books, and I also found some artwork. But let's dive into some of the books that I picked up. These were like the big books that I was on the hunt for and the questing for. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. Okay, to start off, I have a pile. I mean, I got a lot there, guys, and this is just me kind of, so it's nice and simple, and it's not me just kind of throwing up all the books that I got at you guys, right? I did get a lot of dollar bin, actually 50-cent books there, but I did quest out some books. I had certain ones that were on my goal list for the year that I found, and I found some of them at the same booth. But it's one of those things that you gotta taper it out. I can't get everything all in one con, but I did find some, and these are going to be my top pickups that I actually paid. I think there might be one or two that was a gift here, but for the most part, these are ones that I bought and I found digging around and stuff. So the first one I'm going to show you guys is, technically it's not one of my top 5. This is something that I never even thought of, but I saw some people doing it. So on the first day, I kind of scrambled a little bit to find something that's a book that's me. It's my favorite character type of thing. And while I was there, I tried to have people sign it. So that first book is this one. So this is kind of honorable mention, I guess you would call it. This is Wolverine, Debt of Death, #1, came out 2011. It's just a one-shot. But Wolverine's my guy. I thought it had enough white space, and I got a bunch of people sign it. So this is, I call it my homies book. Now, I didn't get everybody to sign it. I actually kept forgetting I had this in my bag, or I just didn't run into people. But I got the FOMO squad to sign it for sure. I got Nate up there. Hell yeah. Dope. And then let me see if I can get it on the glare. You can see right there, Big Nasty signed it. And of course, Lettuce signed it right on the belt buckle and his crotch. Mr. Akins on the comic rack. And I got Brian LCS to sign it. So, like I said, I wish I would have got more people to sign it. I just kept forgetting I had it in my bag. I did get it on Friday, but I didn't see everybody. I had a hard time actually running into people on the floor. And I was on that floor from open to close. They had to kick me out, type of thing. So, but yeah, this was just a fun book to kind of, remember the moment, remember the weekend of hanging out with all my friends and seeing everybody. Uh, Maybe I'll take this to the next one. If I see anybody, I'll have them keep signing this one. I'll just keep adding to it. So this will be my community legacy book or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, kind of cool concept to remember everybody. Okay, so let's get to the 5 books that I did pick up. I got 5 here ready to show you guys. Hopefully I don't drag on too long, but let's jump into these. The first one that I got, this one I recently found out about, so I put it on the list right away. That's one of the things when I was there, I was using my CLZ app and I got a wish list. So when I hear about a book or we're on a stream and somebody shows a book or talks about a book and it sounds interesting, I put it in there. So then when I go to shows, I can kind of just pull up that wish list and just search by that one. So one of those was this one. I can't not show an X-Men book, right, guys? So this is the Uncanny X-Men at the State Fair in Texas. This is a one-shot, came out in 1983 with awesome cover by John Romita Sr. Now, this was an ad supplement that they only made for the Dallas Times Herald. You can see up there top. I mean, I know there's a couple different, kind of these promo comics, and it's a legit comic, which is pretty cool. I don't, don't know who that guy is right there. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of a neat one-off book. I've never seen this in the wild. So to actually find it at the show kind of surprised me. So I'm like, I've never seen it in person. I've only seen it online. So of course, when I saw it in person, I was going to grab it. And it's a fun book. It's that classic X-Men team. I mean, Kitty Pryde was fairly new to the team when this came out. 1983 is when this was. I mean, she's still wearing the Sprite outfit. But yeah, I mean, it's a fun book, and there's all the team members right there. So, like I said, instant pickup. Being an X-Men collector, I love finding kind of these eyeball ones because this is at about the time that the X-Men were just starting to get popular too. In the broader comic community. So, X-Men at the State Fair was my first pick. So now what I'm kind of doing too with these is I'm going, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 up to my number 1 pick. So my next one here, number 4, is one that I've been working on for a while, and this is a yearly goal book. So this is Tomb of Dracula number 12. Now this is the second appearance of Blade. Let's see, I try and get it without a glare there. Second appearance of Blade. Number 12 came out in 1973, and this is actually the last issue I needed in the full run. So I finished the run at Heroes Con, and this was a goal for me for 2025 was to finish this run because what I want to do now is switch over to Werewolf by Night, which oddly enough, I checked, I got a lot of them. I got a lot in like discount bins that I didn't realize that I've been, picking them up here and there. But so that might not be that bad. But this one, I was super happy to find this. This was at one of the early booths that I dug in. I think I got a little bit of footage here that you guys can see me digging. And I found they had a couple. I picked probably the nicest one that they had there. I figure if I'm going to get this book, I might as well get it a nice grade, being the second appearance of Blade. But yeah, super excited to check off one of my goals for this year so I can concentrate on another run. So Tomb of Dracula number 12, last one that I needed. Okay, next up on the list, guys, sticking with horror theme. I went to Heroes Con wanting to look for more magazine format. So early 70s, most of the 70s really had this magazine format that kind of got around the comics code, whether it was Savage, Sword of Conan, or a horror book like Dracula Lives or something. Well, this was one that is in the horror vein that I've been hunting for a while, and it's this one. I've never seen it in the wild, so of course I was super excited to find it live. And this is Tales of the Zombie #1 that came out in 1973. And this is actually the first appearance and origin of the zombie Simon Garth. Yeah, this was a goal for mine to find magazines. I was super happy. I found a dealer that had he had a couple boxes of these, so I was super excited to find this one. I think this was only a 10 or 11 issues. I've been finding them here and there, but this one's such a nice copy of it. I mean, I can't wait to dive in this and read it. I haven't read it yet. But yeah, it's been on my list for a while, and in this kind of shape, I couldn't pass it up. So the first issue of Tales of the Zombie, cool magazine. I love this Boris Vallejo artwork on the cover. Very excited to dive into this one and add to the collection. Number 4 on my list is a beautiful copy of a Wonder Woman, number 199 from 1972. A very iconic cover. That's what makes this one a big sought-after book, is that it's an iconic bondage cover of Wonder Woman being chained up there with the executioner behind her. Beautiful cover. This is a cover by Jeffrey Jones. I saw it at a booth. It's like, I think, one of the early booths on Friday when I was there. They had a whole bunch of dollar bin books, and I walked actually on the other side of that, and they had a couple wall books and some just like general books and normal prices, $5, $10 type of thing. And this was one of the wall books that was right next to 200 too, and I couldn't believe what good shape this was. I don't think my camera is going to show it off very well, but he had a reasonable price. I bundled it with a bunch of the discount ones that I found that may pop up in another video soon. And yeah, this was one that I knew of, and that's just, man, that's such a beautiful cover. So I had to get it. I have very few Wonder Woman books in the collection, so this was definitely a big one I would have liked to add it. I mean, this was during the 70s when they were, kind of, they took her out of her Star Spangled Banner outfit and kind of updated her, made her a little, gave her go-go boots and, and fringe and all that stuff so in the 70s. So yeah, 1972, very reflective of the time. But yeah, just super cool artwork. I couldn't pass it up in this shape. So yeah, super happy to add this one to the collection. And then lastly here, I have my top pick for the convention. This was one that I was hunting for, and I looked and looked and looked. And I found one at one point that was in really rough shape. And then my buddy Dope Comics said, hey, you got to come over here, got to come over here. They got a ton of your goal list books here. I mean, I had looked at, I think they had at least 5 Marvel Spotlight first appearance of Ghost Riders. But the big one that I was looking for was this book. And it's Detective Comics, number 359 from 1967. This is the first appearance of Batgirl. I was super, super excited. I was hoping I would see this. This was one of those books that I really wanted to go home with. And I found one. I found it at a dealer that was, man, so willing to work with you price-wise. He came over and I said, can I see, Detective blah, 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 Batgirl? And he came over and handed me the whole stack. Basically, I got to look and pick and choose and look and really study all the different books and compare their prices and the condition and stuff like that. And I ended up going with this one, which was a pretty high grade. And we talked about prices, and he ended up taking, I think, 70, $75 off of what their list price was. So I think most of the dealers at Heroes Con was like that. They wanted to make people happy and go home with great books. And then, of course, they would have less to pack up, but they were really willing to work with you. But yeah, look at this book. The only big deal it has is right down here. There's a chip. But other than that, there's no dog ears. The spine looks in real good shape. The colors are great. So yeah, this is a great cover by Carmine Infantino too. This was, like I said, main book off of my goal list for the year. I can't believe I got it done. I got this one and Dracula done at the con. I got 2 books left on my list that I want to finish off by the end of the year. And you know what? Those are both local. I've seen them at local stores, so it's just a matter of me going and getting them. But yeah, top pick, first appearance of Batgirl and Detective Comics. Super excited to add this to the collection. Well, guys, that was my top 5 purchases from Heroes Con 2025, but I cannot end there. Like I showed kind of a fun book in the beginning that was something to remember the convention in, all my friends that I met up with there. This one I have to show because this is probably one of the most generous things that I've ever gotten in the community. And this is a gift. It was a gift from my good buddy, Dope Comics. Shout out to Dope. If you're not following him, please make sure you go and follow him. He's a hilarious guy, super generous. I've never met anybody that's like him. And he gave me a comic that, in a way, is on my goal list. It's one of my side goals that I came up with because it's something that I don't have in the collection and I wanted to get it. And that's a pre-code horror, pre-code book. Something that I don't have too many books this old, even close to this old. I think the oldest I have is maybe the late 50s. So he gave me this one. I was floored. Some of you may have seen he did do a little short video where he gave this to me, and I was kind of speechless. But he gave me a Shadows comic. This is probably I think the last and best gift I can put on this video. But Shadow Comics Volume 3, number 1, from 1943. And this is a book that I fell in love with this cover the first time I saw it. You know, I was scrolling on online at some old books from the 40s and stuff. And I absolutely fell in love with this villain on the cover. You see the shadow right in front of him. And the colors, I don't know if my camera's doing this justice, but I'm getting super reflective off of it. At 2.5 graded. I mean, even the back looks great. But yeah, I was shocked when he gave this to me. I was, yeah, crazy generous guy. Dope Comics. And I don't know what else to say about this. Dope, thank you very much for giving this to me, adding it to my collection. He said that he watched my yearly goal list at the beginning of the year in January, and he started laughing because he's like, I think I have that. and then to give it to a buddy, that's so cool. Very generous, so blew me away. Well, there you go, guys. There is my top 5, a couple extra ones thrown in there, pickups from Heroes Con 2025. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And if you could, please give me a thumbs up and a subscribe. I appreciate that. And yeah, it was a real good time at Heroes Con. Breaking it down like this, I figure this is the best way to get content out to you guys and for you guys to digest without it being super long. And hopefully I will have some more rolling out in the future. Like I wanted to cover some of the artwork that I saw there and also some of the content creators that I was lucky enough to go get some signatures for on my books. And even just hanging out with the friends. So I did take a lot of footage from that. So keep an eye open for more stuff. But that's all I got for you guys for this video of my, I guess this would be a haul video. But until next time, guys, happy questing, and we'll talk to you next time. Batgirl.